Uh, Coming to you this evening from my house. I didn't have a really good, strong signal at uh, at at our project earlier today, so I'm going to do a take two on paint, color, and sheen. Wanted to remind you, if you have any projects, any design ideas that you want to share, please feel free to reach out to us, canopyunlimited.com or facebook.com/Canopy Unlimited. Send us a message, and we're so happy to help implement your ideas and designs on your next project. So I'm going to jump right into it because it's kind of late. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Wanted to talk about paint, color, and sheen, and which one is more important. So it really depends. So when you talk about paint color, obviously that's the color that you're going to be going in and painting your walls, your trim. You have a lot of gray tones, white tones. What's the color that we're using nowadays? Grayish, which is a gray beige combination. That's popular. So we're going to kind of weigh out the pros and cons of which one's more important: paint color and paint sheen, and why. So paint color, it's a little bit more obvious. It's important because that's the color that you're going to be looking at every single day. It's the color that you're going to have to coordinate your everything from your furniture to your decorations, your decor in and around your house. So that's important to keep in mind. Sometimes people, clients, they paint their entire house and they coordinate around their new paint color. And sometimes they purchase new furniture and they coordinate, around that new paint or the furniture that they're getting. So it's a lot more, tolerable to pick out a paint color that you're going to be using. It's a lot more tolerable visually and aesthetically to pick out a paint color that you're going to be happy with in the long run. So paint color is definitely something that you should keep in mind when you're picking out your paint color. Now, sheen, on the other hand, is a little bit more important to me personally, because when you're picking out your sheen, oftentimes people they associate the sheen with how clean or how easily you can clean your walls, the scrubbability of it, for example. But for me, I have little ones. For those of you that have small kids or pets or are very active in and around your house, you should really consider a flat sheen. And I'll tell you the reason why. It's kind of contrary to popular belief, where the higher the sheen, the higher the gloss, the easier it is to clean. But in fact, with new technologies, new higher end types of paints, it really doesn't matter what kind of sheen you pick out. It's more important to me, coming from a touch-up ability, so to speak. I think it's more important to be able to touch up certain sections of your walls, high traffic areas, hallways, corners, things of that nature, to be able to pick up a brush and touch up your house, once a quarter, once a month, whenever it kind of becomes convenient for you to touch up. And a flat sheen will do that for you. It's the most ideal paint to touch up. So for that reason, sheen is more important to me than paint color, because it'll give me number one, sheen. Here's another thing I wanted to touch on. A flat sheen will give you the truest color. So what do I mean by that? When you have a higher sheen, light reflects a little bit more on your walls. So you're going to have a little bit of more of a glare to it. So it won't be as true of a color that you would expect versus if you pick a high sheen. So for example, if you pick an eggshell or a satin finish, you're going to have a little bit more of a sheen to it versus a flat finish, which is going to be dull or matte, and you're going to reflect less light. So therefore, you're going to have the truer color. And that's another reason why I really like flat paint, because it's the truest, it's the most natural color, especially if you're going to do non-white. So the darker the color, the more richer the tone it's going to be. And if you're picking, an accent wall, or just a particular room that you want to pick out that's a pastel or a darker color, if you do a flat sheen, no shine whatsoever, you're going to have the most truest color, and that's another reason why I like flat. But getting back to the touch-up ability, so I painted my walls in my house, and most of our projects I try to go for a white wall and accent the doors and trim. That's what I pick out as my accent. So with me having little ones around, all of my corners, all of my hallways, up and down the stairways, they're constantly getting dirty. So every so often I just pick up a brush of the same color. I picked out a Sherwin-Williams Snowbound, which is, kind of looks like snow. It's not too white, not too cream color. It looks like snow, sort of. And I pick up a brush and I kind of touch up as I go, wherever I see it. And when you shine a light on it, or when the light hits the wall in a particular angle, I don't see that touch up, And for me, and the investment of painting my entire house, we did get flooded here, so I painted my whole house. That far exceeds, what color white I chose. I wanted flat because I knew that my girls, they run around and they dirty up the walls, and it was much more important for me to have a newer look versus a type of color. So I really concentrated on making sure that we did a good first coat, and we primed it, and then we gave it its second coat, and it looks practically brand new. Every 2-3 months I'll kind of touch up here and there. So really depending on your situation, what it is that you're looking to achieve, whether it's the perfect color, then color might be the go-to choice. But if it's longevity, if it's making your house look as clean and as new as possible, without seeing drastic touch-ups, then you might want to really reconsider what sheen you use, because in the long run, too many touch-ups of an eggshell or a satin and it will be visible, and you might need to just repaint your whole house and end up picking a whole nother color and probably going with a different sheen. So that's kind of important. That's it. That's my tip. That's something that you guys might want to consider. Color, sheen, which one's more important? For me, definitely it's the sheen, but that might change a couple of years from now when my girls grow up a little bit more. Make them pick up a paintbrush and touch up their own their own mess. So that's it. Again, if you guys have any projects, any design ideas, any renderings that you guys might need for an upcoming project, always feel free to reach out to us, canopyunlimited.com or facebook.com/canopyunlimited. I'm going to go to bed and watch my Jack Ryan, because I'm on episode 4 and I want to binge watch on that a little bit. Take it easy, guys. Have a good night.